Hello there. So, you might have read the title. This is a guide to all of the monsters within I'm.STARVING. Now, in case you don't know what I'm.STARVING is, I'll give a brief rundown. I'm.STARVING is a game where you wander around an abandoned school that has not been used for years, finding notebooks and answering them correctly. If you get 5 notebooks answered correctly, then you gain lunch money, which can be spent on Tungus' shop. However, while you're doing this, you're actively being hunted down by various monsters that will show zero mercy, all for the sake to fulfill their endless gluttony. Now, with all that being said, let's get into the guide now. The Harkin appears as a tall, lanky humanoid with a T-shaped head, having only one arm and his hand being the shape of a club of sorts, and his eyes seemingly drilled out. Now, for how the Harkin works, he'll wander around the school and play a sound cue. If you hear this, you gotta crouch down, otherwise he will hear you, and won't stop until you're dead. Additionally, he can hear your mic. Now, some fun facts about the Harkin. If you lure the Harkin towards the library, the deity will stun him, causing him to walk away. If you do this 2 times, the game will punish you by killing you, along with a message, don't abuse the Harkin, it doesn't deserve that. If you bought the phone a friend item from Tungus' shop, you can select which player to call, immediately sending Harkin after them, and they cannot survive, as if they try to re-enter the library, they'll die. But you can't use this item if the player is inside the library, it will just not let you. Alright, now moving on to the principal. In appearance is a tall, lanky humanoid with pure white eyes and no arms. So, the principal works similar to a weeping angel of sorts. Essentially, you need to stare at him for a few seconds to make him scream and run away. If you fail to do this in time, he'll knock you to the ground and rip your organs out and eat them. Additionally, if you walk up to him, the same thing will happen. Some fun facts: in the original I'm.STARVING thumbnail, the Principal had arms, but later had been changed to match his in-game appearance. The teacher appears as a skinny humanoid with her head down in the shape of a flower petal. Now, the teacher will wander around the school. If she spots you, she'll immediately charge at you, and if she catches you, you will be taken to a classroom and forced to take a quiz. When this happens, you have 20 seconds to answer as many questions correctly before the timer runs out. Failure to get more correct answers or the timer runs out will result in your death. Now, some fun facts: in the original I'm.STARVING, her mechanic was far different, where you would have to get to a classroom before the time was up. If you failed to do so, it would result in death. The janitor has a bulky appearance, being one of the only monsters to have somewhat of a resemblance of a human. He has a dark-like skin, white eyes, overalls, wears a baseball cap, and has a cigarette in his mouth. The janitor is possibly the only neutral monster in the game. His mechanic is quite simple, if you ask me. Every time someone is killed by the principal or the Harkin, they'll leave a corpse, where the janitor will soon arrive to clean it up. Whatever you do, do not approach him, as he'll get all mad and start chasing you until someone is dead. Just wait for him to leave and you'll be fine. Now, fun facts. Unlike most monsters, the janitor is provided food by Gilead. Yeah, that's all I got, really. Okay. The fraud appears as a spider-like entity with a skull-like face, being completely black. Now, when wandering the school, you may hear the sound of children laughter. If you hear this, you are to immediately leave the area as the fraud is there. Otherwise, a timer will appear and you will have to survive it until the timer runs out. The fraud also has a notebook variant where if you see an eye on a notebook, you are to not interact with it as you will be pulled in if you do. Some fun facts. The fraud is an amalgamation by Gilead, where he caught a lot of the children during the disaster and combined them into this monster. The fraud had a different mechanic in the original IM.STARVING, where it would camp by a window, and if anyone were to dare cross that specific window, they would be pulled in and they would die. Alright, now we're finally on the Dean. The Dean appears as a tall humanoid with a jacket and fedora-like hat, with 5 arms spearing from where his legs should be. Every 8 minutes, the Dean will announce on the intercom, "Attention all students, mandatory hallway check," where you'll must find a shelter in a room, library recommended to survive, otherwise you'll die. Fun facts, the game quotes the Dean as the main aggressor of the school, and the Dean is controlled by the fraud. I'm gonna say this right now. The Dean doesn't have a jump scare at all. It all is just like he just goes through you and boom, you're dead. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And that's about it for the entire video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you're wondering where the other monsters are, like Pianist or Mother Grub or Tungus, they are not included in this video because I didn't feel like they would be, major threats, as they're not really threats in the end. I only wanted to focus on, like, dangerous main monsters like Dean or Janitor or Fraud or Harkin. Anyhow, I'll make a video for those guys, and I am so sorry about the editing in this video. I am planning on making a full remaster in the future. Anyhow, have a wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye.